guys, welcome to my channel. I'm super excited today because I am sharing with you some of my top tips on how to save money at your next Disney trip. And as we know, Disney is expensive. It is so expensive, and it is just getting more and more expensive as time goes on. And honestly, my heart just hurts because I feel bad. I feel bad for these families where they just want to take their kids to Disney. They just want to go to Disney, but they see that price tag and it's a lot. It's a lot for an average American family to try to afford a vacation like this. And I'm a firm believer. I believe that everybody should be able to experience this at least once in their life. I believe everybody should be able to take their kids to Disney. And I want to just give you some of my tips that I found how we, like I said, like to save money and how we can afford to go. So if you haven't already, go ahead and like this video and then also hit that red subscribe button for me. One of my biggest tips for going to Disney World that I tell everybody, anybody, family, friends, anybody who asks me when they're planning their trip on like where to start, where to stay, I always tell them to stay on Disney property. I don't care if you want to splurge, if you want to stay at the Grand Floridian, but if you do want to save money, if they want to stay at All Star Sports, just stay on Disney property. And I'm talking about one of the actual Disney resorts. Now, Disney has a lot of good neighbor hotels that they partner with, but I always advise to stay on Disney property. So since that's one of my top tips, I'm gonna be just talking about Disney World hotels when I'm giving you this tip on how to save money. And this first tip is to never pay rack rate for your hotel room at Disney World. Now, if you're kind of a newbie like I was before, you're probably thinking, what the heck is rack rate? What is this girl talking about? Rack rate is the advertised price of the hotel. So what that is no discounts given. There's nothing, no savings on top of that. It is just the set price for the hotel room. And usually this will go when there's no special deals going on, no special savings. You never want to pay that price. Absolutely not. You just, unless you have money to throw away, do not pay rack rate. Now, I have seen these savings range anywhere from 10% all the way up to 35%, and that is on Disney's official website. And these can save you a buttload of money. And now some of these savings are only promotional savings for different times of the year. Sometimes they're only for annual pass holders. Sometimes they're only for Disney residents. You just have to really look into it, see if you qualify for those savings. Most of the time they're for everybody. Sometimes that 35% will only be offered to those people who are looking to stay at deluxe resorts. And then sometimes that lower percentage is gonna be for those looking at more of the all-star sports or the all-star movies. So you definitely want to read the fine print. You definitely want to see which discounts you qualify for. But either way, this is going to save you a whole lot of money, and you're not going to pay that high price tag that Disney is trying to get you to pay. Of course, they want you to pay the full amount, but sometimes they want to run these specials because they want to fill all their rooms up. So you're going to want to check for those promotionals. You're going to want to check for those discounts and make sure you never pay that rack rate. And I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna leave the link below directly to the website where you can kind of check out all the promotions that Disney has going on for their rooms. So sometimes you get like, I know now they're starting to offer these dining deals where if you book a hotel room, you get like this dining credit, which is really nice, that it can go towards any food within Disney. So you can get like $100 gift card for food and you can save some more money. So I definitely check that out. Look at the website, see if you qualify for any of those promotions. Now, if you're looking at that website, if you're looking at the dates that you're going and you're not seeing any savings, that's okay. What you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna check out some third-party reservation booking sites, something like Priceline, Expedia, any of those sites. And those sites actually will go through Disney. They're kind of like travel agents, and they will get the better savings for you. So they'll offer their savings on the website, and they'll show you how much you're gonna save compared to if you book directly through Disney. Now, do be careful because you're gonna wanna do your research. I actually had where we booked our trip for in November, I booked it through Priceline because it was offering a great deal, and I was looking side by side at Disney's official website and then also on Pricelines, and I said, okay, I booked it and it was a free cancellation, so I was totally fine with it. Well, in a few weeks, I was checking prices again because Of course, we're all trying to save money, and it was free cancellation. And Disney was actually offering a 25% off of my room, which was way better than what Priceline had. So you're just gonna wanna keep checking. You're honestly gonna wanna do some work and make sure you're finding the best rate for your room, and making sure, you know, just because Priceline is saying, oh, this is so much better than what Disney's offering, you don't wanna believe them full-heartedly. You definitely wanna do your research. You definitely wanna, you know, make sure you are getting the best deal through them. Now, if you are looking to possibly stay instead of in, like I said, the All-Star Sports, the All-Star Movies, if you're looking to kind of splurge a little bit more, but you don't want to pay that rack rate price for Grand Floridian, and you still want to stay there, there's actually another secret option. This option is to actually rent some DVC points. Now, if you don't know what DVC is, Disney Vacation Club is what DVC stands for. And that is Disney's timeshare program, where people have these allotted points and they pay per month for their membership. And what that is these people can use some points and they can stay at a bunch of different resorts around Disney. So what this DVC rental is, if you're like, okay, well, I'm not a member, I don't have DVC, I'm not paying a membership fee, that's okay. Because sometimes if people have an abundance of points, if they want to sell some of them, they do. And they rent out those points, so they make some money, but then they give you those points for a lower rate than what you would pay if you're booking directly through Disney. And the nice thing is about these DVC rooms is that they're stocked. Like, they're nice. You always, if anything, if you stay in even a studio, which is one of the lowest rooms, you still get a kitchenette, which now we know at Disney, they're replacing all the mini fridges with these beverage coolers. Nothing makes me more irritated than a beverage cooler and not a mini fridge. It doesn't work. It does not work for you. Disney, please, why did you do that? Anyways, these DVC rooms are super nice because, like I said, they're equipped with at least a kitchenette, but if you go to like a 1-bedroom, they usually have a full kitchen. They have washers and dryers in there, so you don't have to go to some, like, you know, the laundromats that you do on Pop Century or Art of Animation. You have a washer and dryer in your room, and you have a kitchen stocked with all the utensils. And when you're traveling with kids, that is the greatest thing. I love having a stocked kitchen at Disney because then you can make food there. You can store some of your snacks there. You can buy perishables because you don't have to worry about them not staying cold in the beverage cooler. But anyway, so you can rent these DVC points from these members who are, you know, DVC members, and they will sell you these points at a certain rate. Sometimes I think our last trip, I found them $17 a point for Saratoga Springs, which was really good. It was for a 2-bedroom room, super nice. It was so affordable, so much better than buying, like I said, through Disney. So when you're renting these points, what this does is, like I said, if you're looking at a studio room, that's gonna be your lowest point range. Now, per the room, they rent you a certain amount of points it gets to get that room. So like I said, a studio, it might be 8 points a night at Saratoga Springs. And then the higher up you move, so it goes to like 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom. And then I think after that it goes to like Treehouse Villa or something. The points keep increasing. So you would pay per day per, you know, this amount of points to get your room. So like I said, I was paying $17 a point for Saratoga Springs, and we had to do X amount of points for a 2-bedroom villa, and it came out to a really good amount. And I did the cost comparison to what I would pay directly through Disney, and I saved thousands of dollars. I'm not talking hundreds. I saved thousands of dollars doing it this way. So if you're looking to go this route, if you want to be a little more bougie, if you want to rent a, you know, studio room or a 2-bedroom villa, you can totally do that. I actually go through a couple of different sites. The first one I go through is the DVC rental store. They are highly reputable. They are very good. I've used them before. They are just incredible. Another website is called Dave's Magical Vacations. They are really nice as well. I've used them once before. Really good, just really easy, made the whole process great. And then my third option is a website, it's called Disboards. Now what this is like a little kind of like, if you've been in college and online and you had to do those little boards where you had to like type your response. It's like a discussion board where you type your, answer to a question and then people would reply and do that. If you've ever done that, let me know. But I always used to do that in college, especially online courses. But this Disboards is kind of exactly like that, except people are basically running out their points. They're, saying that they have this many points available for this resort or for these dates. And you can comment on there and you can contact, these people directly. Sometimes they'll give you their email so that way you can email easier. But I have done that and it was great because then you can kind of negotiate a price too. You don't have to rely just fully like I said, DVC Rental Store or the other site where they have the prices listed and that's it. These people, you can negotiate with them because they're the ones that own their, timeshare. So I have used that and it's really good. It gives you a little bit more flexibility too because there's more people there renting out their points. If you're looking at using any of these sites, like I said, I highly recommend all of them, but just do your research. I know some of them, they do not have cancellations. They will not have any refunds if you need to cancel for any reason at all. And it's just, you just have to be careful, especially even with Disboards because these are just people, there's no money back guaranteed. You really have to watch, you have to make sure you're renting from somebody reputable. So do your research, just look into it a lot and then see which one you would like to use if you are gonna go, like I said, the more bougie route. On to our next tip. My second tip is gonna be a little bit easier. I think a lot of people do this anyways, but I always advise people if they just don't know if they wanna do this or not, but please, skip the car rental. Don't even deal with it. Car rentals are outrageously expensive right now. They're just way too much money. And if you have little ones, if you have kids, you have to deal with the car seat. You have to deal with getting their stroller in the car, just making sure everything can fit. Don't even deal with it. My advice would be to, if you're looking for transportation from the airport to your hotel, Mears Connect is great. It is this coach bus service where they pick you directly up at MCO and they will take you to your hotel, to whether it's, Animal Kingdom Lodge, whether it's Grand Floridian, whether it's the Polynesian, any Disney resort, they will take you there. So definitely look into doing that. And there's so many other services that you can use. I know that there's some private services where you can get rides from the airport to your hotel. There's also Uber, there's Lyft. Now you just have to be careful if you are traveling with little ones because sometimes these don't offer car seats and if they do, you don't know. So be careful, whatever you wanna do. I prefer doing Mears Connect because our son, who is 14 months, he gets to go for free and he gets to sit directly on our lap. So we do not have to worry about a car seat. We don't have to worry about any of that. And they take our luggage and they stow it underneath and they give it to us once we get there. So stroller luggage fits fine. And I just highly recommend Mears Connect, which is now also Sunshine Flyer if you're not familiar with that. They've merged into one company, which makes it easier because then you don't have to compare prices or anything. So highly recommend, ditch the car rental, don't even think about it. Just do a transportation from the airport. If you're staying on Disney property, guess what? You don't even need a car. You get to use Disney transportation for free. You get to use the Disney buses, you get to use the monorail, you get to use the Skyliner, you get to use the boats, and those can literally take you anywhere. And it's just so much more easier because I've done the whole car rental thing. I have done it with our family. We've, tried it out. And it can be stressful because going into, the Disney property, it's crazy sometimes. Like there's a lot of traffic going in and out. There's just a lot of turns, trying to figure out where you're going, which park is where. So it is so much more relaxing to, get on a bus, hop on the Skyliner, do one of those and just sit back and relax because you're probably beat, especially if it's the end of the day at the park. You just probably want to sit and relax. You don't want to think about pulling up directions, getting back to your hotel. So just let somebody else do all the work. You're paying Disney anyways. You're spending all this money for the hotel room and for staying on the property, let somebody else do the work. One of my next tips for saving money at Disney World when you're planning your trip is to definitely utilize a grocery delivery service. So that way you can get all your groceries delivered to your resort. Now, our first time when we went and we had no car rental, we didn't have our car, we didn't have our own transportation to get off of Disney property, I was like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna get, our groceries? Sometimes we don't pack everything. Sometimes we don't pack some of our toiletries just because with flying, you don't wanna put that in your bag. Well, then we discovered we can actually do a grocery delivery service to bring all of our stuff directly to our hotel, which is great. So these grocery delivery services, they could be, I know Amazon Prime has one. We use Walmart's a lot because we have a Walmart around us and that's just where we shop. So we love to use that. I don't believe Target has one yet. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a lot of Targets around Disney, so maybe they do. But I just don't think that they have a whole lot of groceries. So if you're looking for, if you're looking for milk, if you're looking for bread and everything like that, they just might not have that for you. But you're gonna wanna do this grocery delivery service because guess what? You can buy things like a case of water, snacks for your kids, fruit, different things, granola bars. Because if you are gonna go into Disney and you are not prepared, you don't have, anything with you, which is mostly the case most of the time, you're gonna be paying a buttload of money for a bottle of water. I think it's up to $5 something for a bottle of Dasani water. Outrageous. You could buy a whole case of water for that price almost. So, like I said, you're gonna wanna buy a whole case of water, you're gonna wanna get snacks ready because even snacks in Disney, we know it could be a granola bar, it's I think $4 instead of just buying a whole box at Walmart for $4. So you're gonna want to be prepared and get a grocery delivery service delivered to your hotel. Now, unfortunately, they're not gonna bring the groceries directly to your room. What they do is they drop off your groceries at Bell Services. You're gonna wanna give them the address of your actual hotel room, or sorry, not your actual hotel room. You're gonna wanna give them the address of the hotel. You can do this by Googling it. I know Disney has it listed directly on the My Disney Experience app if it shows all your plans, your hotel information. So you can just input that in there and they'll take it to Bell Services. And if you have the Walmart app like me, they'll tell you when it's delivered. They'll say your order was successfully delivered. They usually take a picture of it to show, everything's there. So with that, you can either go to Bell Services and go pick up your groceries, which is what we usually do, or there's usually a $6 fee where Bell Services can bring it to your room. But if you're like us, we're fully capable of going to get our groceries. We can just go down and get them, get, luggage cart and just haul them back and put them in our room. If you're like me also, where you have, a toddler, a baby who's definitely not potty trained yet, you can actually order diapers and wipes too. So you don't even have to pack those, which as we know, it can be stressful trying to fit everything into our suitcases. So one less thing, two less things to pack is great by me. And diapers take up so much room too. So life hack, always order the diapers through the grocery order to be delivered to your Disney Resort hotel. Never pack them, never pack a full box of diapers. I don't even know how you can fit that in your suitcase. Okay, you guys still with me? This is a lot. I know it's a lot of savings tips, but these are the tips that we use when we go just to save us money because, like I said, it's hard. It's hard because, when you're just an average American family that wants to take your kids to Disney, that wants to have a good vacation, it could be a lot of money. So my next tip is maybe a little controversial because I don't hear too many people doing this, but I would say skip the table service dining. Now, if you're not familiar with what table service is, this is where you actually go into one of Disney's restaurants in the parks, at Disney Springs, at the hotels, and you have a waiter or waitress actually waiting on you, bringing you your food and all that fun stuff. So like a typical restaurant, like if you're going to like a Chili's or a Texas Roadhouse, something like that, that's what that is in Disney. Now, along with table service, they actually offer quick service dining, which is where you don't have a waiter or waitress, you order your food. You could actually do mobile ordering as well, but you go find your own seat. You don't have anybody coming to you, asking you if your food's good, bringing you your food. You would just order your food and then you would go pick it up yourself at, a little, how do I want to say it? Like, at the counter where they usually leave it, they check your receipt or whatever. But anyways, what I'm getting at is just skip the dining reservations. Unless there's this table service where you really, really, really want to try it, if you want to try the Crystal Palace, if you want to eat at Ohana, if you really have your heart set on at least doing one dining reservation, then do it. This is your vacation. You do whatever you want. But for us, we found that if we have too many dining reservations, it just kind of takes up our day anyway. So we don't really like to make too many dining reservations. And also, we're totally fine with the quick service because it is so much cheaper to do quick service, and it's just, we can do it at our own pace. We don't have this, time where we need to go and get our food and go sit and eat. We can pick and decide when we want to go. We can do a mobile order very quickly, and then we have our allotted time where we need to go pick it up. But we're not kind of trapped in that window where we're sitting and eating for, an hour or two. So if you're not really crazy on having to have a table service dinner every day, if you don't have to do reservations every day, then don't do it. Give yourself the flexibility. If there's something maybe that you want to do eventually, you can totally do that. But I would say if you want to save the money, just skip the dining reservations. Just do the quick service meals. And I have to say, some of the quick service places are so much better than the table service dining anyway. So sometimes you can find those hidden gems where you're like, oh my gosh, this is so much better than my $100 meal that I paid for last night when I was at, my reservation. So look into your quick service dining. Look at the menus. You can look at the menus on My Disney Experience and try them out. Just, like I said, skip the dining reservation. All right, next tip. So I know, like I said, we all know Disney is just increasing their prices like crazy. And I have even noticed it in their merchandise stores. So what I would say to you is to skip the souvenirs. Now, if there's something that you really want to buy your child, if there's something you really want to purchase, that's okay. Then just budget for it. Okay, we're going to have $100 for souvenirs, and that's what we're going to buy. But don't go in, buying every single thing at each park. It's way too much money. It adds up really, really quickly. I know on our next trip when we go, we want to buy our son a bubble wand, but guess what? That's the only thing we're gonna buy. We don't need to buy anything else. And usually you have to do your research again whether you're shopping at Disney Springs, if you're shopping in one of the parks. If you find something that you really like, go ahead and check out shopdisney.com because sometimes they run sales on there and it's way cheaper than buying it in the parks or buying it at Disney Springs. So you're gonna wanna go ahead, like I said, do your research, make sure you're getting the best bang for your buck, make sure you're not spending more money than what you have to. But I would definitely highly advise skipping a lot of the souvenirs because they're not worth it. They're really not. And if your little one, if you're worried about that, taking them through the stores, then maybe just skip the stores. Maybe just totally bypass them. I know some of the rides take you out through the stores. Maybe you can hurry up and get your little one out of there before they see anything. So, like I said, skip the souvenirs. Don't even do it unless you really, really have your heart set on buying something. And maybe you want to research that up front so that way okay, I'm going to be spending, $50 on X souvenir. And, that way that way you're budgeted and you know what you're going to spend. And finally, my last tip to save money for your Disney trip is to skip Genie Plus. I am a Fast Pass girl. I remember using the Fast Pass and being able to stack those. I love them so much. And then I remember when it was free, you could do it on your phone. Those times have come and gone because now they rolled out this Genie Plus, which I hate personally. I think it is annoying. I think that people are trapped on their phones then trying to stack different lightning lanes. It's just, I don't like it. I really don't. But what I'm getting at is you do not need Genie Plus to have a good Disney World vacation. To make the most of your Disney World vacation, you don't need it. I think that a lot of people think that they need to try to fit every single thing into their day to get the most out of their Disney trip. You do not have to do that. Now, I like to do my research because we have not bought Genie Plus. We bought Lightning Lanes, but again, I think that they're a waste of money because I think that Disney tries to scare you on some of the wait times when they're not actually that long. I think like posted wait times sometimes were an hour and we waited like max 20 minutes. So I think it's just a money thing where they try to get you to spend more money and try to get you to buy this Genie Plus when you really don't need it. But anyways, what we like to do is we like to try to research and find the lower crowd times. Try to find days where it's gonna be a lower crowd level, where we're not gonna need Genie Plus. Now, some of these times would include end of August, September. Those are really good times. It's really light because all the kids have gone back to school. There's also certain times of the year like January, February. Now you do have to be careful because those times used to be super low. There used to be no crowds. It's super crowded around that time. I don't know what happened. It fluctuates here and there, but you can still find certain days. You can find, I know if you go on a Mickey's Halloween party or a Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party day and you don't have a ticket, that's okay. The park is completely dead during those days because nobody wants to waste a whole ticket day for that. But there's also so many different websites that actually do crowd calendars for Disney World. So if you just even Google Disney World crowd calendar, you'll find a bunch of different websites. I know like Touring Plans, they have one. Undercover Mouse has one. I think a bunch of different people do. So I would definitely look into that. I would look into, crowd levels and see when you want to go. And that way, you're not going at a super busy time where you're not going to need that Genie Plus. You're not going to feel like you need it. You're not going to feel like you're not going to be able to get everything done. So definitely skip the Genie Plus. Just don't even do it. Don't even deal with it. I found that it's just more stressful. I found that, like I said, more people were on their phones, more people were trying to reserve different times, and you just miss the whole aspect of just being there, being at Disney, enjoying it, enjoying being with your family. Just shame on you, Disney. Why did you have to do this? Why did you have to do this to where people are just trapped on their phones? People are on their phones too much anyways, guys. So getting this Genie Plus thing where people have to be on there constantly all day just to stack different things, crazy. Now, along with Genie Plus, like I mentioned, there are such things as Lightning Lanes too. And what this means is this is like a special ticket that you can buy to bypass the lines for some heavier attractions. These would include Avatar's Flight of Passage in Animal Kingdom, the new Tron ride over in Magic Kingdom, you have Guardians of the Galaxy over in Epcot, and then you have Rise of the Resistance over in Hollywood Studios. And these, do not think for 1 minute that if you buy one Lightning Lane, you can use that for all the rides. No. You gotta buy an individual Lightning Lane for each person in your party that is going to ride that ride with you for each of those rides. Yeah, that can add up because those are not cheap. They range, I think, from like $15 to like $25. So if you figure you're $25 for a family of 4 who wants to go on Tron, that's $100 extra that you're spending. That's like a whole Disney ticket almost. Just skip it. There are standby lines that you can do for most of those rides. I do believe Tron is still doing a virtual queue, so you can't just jump in line for that. You have to actually join one of the virtual queues that they have available at 7 a.m., 1 p.m., or 6 p.m. So look into that, look into the virtual queues, but don't do the Lightning Lane. Unless you really, like I said, this is your vacation, not my vacation, but this is what we do to save money. Skip the Lightning Lanes. It is not worth it to spend that money on a individual Lightning Lane for each person in your party. So those are my tips. I was a little blunt. I'm not gonna lie. This is just kind of how we save our money, what we like to do, and just what I believe in. What I believe is a complete waste of money sometimes, and what's worth it. Like we said, we know we're spending money, we're going to Disney, it's expensive. But I believe that everybody should be able to experience to go. I believe that, people shouldn't be scared because they see these high price tags and, think that they can't afford to take their family. You definitely can. You just have to find these little ways to do that. I hope this video helped you guys. I hope that you are looking to book your next Disney vacation. If it did help you, go ahead and like the video. And then, like I said, please subscribe to my channel as I share more tips and tricks on whether we're saving money, whether we're going to Disney, anything like that, traveling with toddlers. It's all so much fun. And then also leave me a comment if there's some way that maybe you like to save money on going on your Disney trips. Let me know. Love to hear it. And then we can kind of share and help everybody else out. So until next time, everybody, bye.